Sam.
And I'm Erin.
And this is Let's Talk.
Today's subject, sex education. Maybe a little bit touchy.
Pun intended. Okay, so maybe your parents have talked to you about safe sex, waiting until marriage, STDs, all that good stuff. But the media, TV, the internet probably hasn't told you anything about sex, which is not cool. Way to drop the ball, media.
Yeah, but that's where we come in. So we're here to bring you important information every week about sex.
Sex, baby.
So this week's topic is consent.
Consent. So we're gonna answer some key questions like what is consent, what does consent sound like, how do we ask for consent, and what is not consent? Not consent. And some other general knowledge that we think you guys need to know.
So let's get started. It might get a little weird.
It's gonna get really weird, but we're okay because we're weird.
So before we get started, we just want to acknowledge that we know you as our audience, some of you are younger, some of you are older, some of you may be having sex, some of you may not be having sex.
And that's totally fine. If you're not having sex, not a big deal. But either way, you need to know about consent because consent is important for everything, including kissing, touching, things that go on in the bedroom, whatever. It's important and you need to know about it.
Right, so there's a whole range and consent applies to all of it.
So now that we got that out of the way and you guys know that we're not like encouraging y'all to go out and have sex, we can get started answering some questions.
So let's get to it. So first up, definitions. What is consent? Consent is permission for something to happen or agreement to do something together. Non-consensual sex, when people don't agree, don't discuss it, or don't give permission, is sexual assault or even rape. And those are 2 felonies. And yes, they are huge issues and we can't really discuss them in this video, but know that they aren't good things, obviously, and that's why consent is so important.
Super important. No one wants to be a criminal. So basically, when we're giving consent, we want to say what we want, what we don't want, what we're comfortable with. And yeah, it can be awkward, but it's better to be awkward than to have the possibility of committing a felony, basically. So when you're giving consent, that basically looks like 2 people are communicating and respecting each other. AKA, you're asking questions, you're checking in with each other, making sure everyone's still comfortable and having a good time. And the body language isn't like guarded, you're kind of like comfortable. You should be able to like read the situation. And if your partner isn't doing these things, then A, they're kind of a douchebag, and B, that's non-consensual action that is happening. So you need to stop.
And reminder, sex is never owed to anyone, anytime, any place, anywhere, not to boyfriends, girlfriends, significant others. Sex is a choice and your body is your own. That's why consent is so key. You can say yes to some things, no to other things, and also, it's okay to change your mind. It is okay. That's why communication is so key. And partners, all of you out there, just please take care of each other and use consent as a way to not take advantage of each other.
So, there's a lot of different ways that we can ask for consent, but it can be as simple as,
is this okay?
Does this feel good?
Are you still into this?
Do you want me to do anything differently?
Do you want to keep going?
All of those are perfectly good questions. So if you get the okay, keep going. Just make sure to keep checking in every once in a while to make sure your partner is still having a good time.
Good times.
Good times.
So on the flip side, what is not consent? Well, most importantly, silence is not a yes.
And maybe or maybe later is not a yes.
If someone is unconscious, blacked out, or asleep, they can't give consent.
And if someone's really high, yes, high, or really drunk, they can't give consent.
And consent is not about shaming, forcing, or begging anyone to have sex.
Begging's not hot, fellas or ladies. So, consent only counts as consent if both partners are able to say yes without feeling forced or without feeling awkward.
Well, it might be awkward, but that's okay because it's healthy and it's respectful.
And it's worth it. So before we go, we want you to hear what some other people have to say about consent. You might recognize these guys, and they're pretty cool. They're our close personal friends.
Yeah. Hi, Steve.
So check it out.
It's happening to our sisters and our daughters.
Our wives and our friends.
It's called sexual assault, and it has to stop.
We have to stop it. So listen up.
If she doesn't consent, or if she can't consent, it's rape, it's assault.
It's a crime. It's wrong.
If I saw it happening, I was taught you have to do something about it.
If I saw it happening, I speak up.
And lastly, here's a clip from a song from two British guys with a great message about consent that is guaranteed to get stuck in your head.
Trust me.
So take a listen.
If you've got the time to make those kind of moves, then make it right. What have you got to lose?
Let's lay things down, clear and stable. This ain't no game, this ain't no fable. This is a story about two individuals. Communications grew, there became a sort of ritual. One of them decided to change their mind. And just to clarify, that's completely fine.
Cause no means no.
Yes,
no.
Yes,
no.
Yes, I get it now. It works only with your consent. Only with your consent. Only with your consent. Only with your consent.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember, you can become part of creating a consent culture where sexual behavior of all kinds, from kissing to touching and beyond, is wanted. It's talked about and it's really wanted.
And we know growing up is hard. Been there, done that. Well, actually, still there, still doing that. So,
if you have any questions, comments, please put them below and we'll try and get to you as soon as we can.
For now though, it's time to say goodnight and for these girls to go to sleep. So, until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye!